D&D gang, what's up guys? Today's fly, it's another really simple one. Today's video is going to be pretty straightforward, pretty basic, but this is definitely one you definitely want to keep in mind. Definitely keep in mind. Definitely. Oh no, I'm not kidding. You better keep this one in mind. This one's serious. I'm not playing. I almost just said, the F word there too. I'm not effing playing. Keep this in mind. Definitely effing keep this in mind. Damn, man. Damn. Nice intro. Beautiful intro. I'm about to just put this on the video anyway. Seriously. This is what happens. You guys want to know what happens when you're a YouTuber? You screw up intros all the time. You edit them out. So you want to see one that's not edited? Here you go. So, today's fly, super simple. We'll get to it here in just a second. Friendly reminder, we do this every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. So definitely subscribe to the channel. We're going to give away some flies at 3,000 subscribers. You guys definitely want to be a part of that. I'm going to put a brief description of the materials down in the description of this video. You can check that out. But let me switch cameras. I'll run you through them, and we'll get to tying. Alrighty guys, grab your thread. As always, we'll start right behind the bead. Super basic. Get that all set up. Take your scissors, cut that tag end. We're pretty much ready to rock and roll. So cut off a little piece of your wire. You don't need a whole lot here. If I can pick it up. Take your wire and tie that in behind the bead. And then you can just run that wire all the way down the side of the hook with your thread until you're like, I don't know, just a little bit past the hook point. Nothing too crazy. Grab your pheasant tail. Actually, we're going to use a little bit of a different piece. This looks a little bit better, so we're going to use this. You guys can use turkey too. You can use turkey, pheasant tail, whatever you want. I'm actually going to use this. This is a nice piece. Alright, so cut off some pheasant tail, probably, I don't know, 7 fibers, something like that, nothing too crazy. Measure that out so it's the length of your hook shank. Once you get it where you want it, transfer it over to your other hand. You can tie that in just behind the wire is where I usually do my first 2, sometimes 3 wraps. And once that looks good, you can put some wraps right in front of the wire. Kind of pull that pheasant tail up and then go back over it. You can just leave your thread right there. You can leave everything just as is. Take that pheasant tail. You can just start to wrap that forward. And if there's a little bit of red thread showing at the back of the fly, no problem. Little extra color is actually good. I like that. So you can wrap that forward until you get pretty close to the bead. Do some wraps on top. Do some wraps in front. Really get that secured down. Take that pheasant tail, snip it off. Take that wire. And then in nice even wraps, start moving that wire forward. Nice even spacing. Do one more there. That's pretty good right there. We'll lock that down. Some wraps on top of the wire, behind the wire, in front of the wire. Get that nice and secure. Looks like I actually have the tail just a little bit long on this one. Just ever so slightly long. But that's alright. You guys can just make sure to pay attention to your proportions. Add some thread there. Get a nice little base going. And then we're just going to cut a little rectangle out of this thin skin. Just enough that makes a wing case. Not a huge amount. You guys aren't going to need a ton here. So just cut yourself a little triangle. Or rectangle. I don't even know my shapes today. How crazy is that? Long day today. Long day. Stuff's kind of hard to peel sometimes. So once you get it peeled off your little strip there, you want to turn it upside down. So the side with color is going to be the side that is to the upside when you flip it over as the wing case. to make that simple, you want the color side on the bottom when you tie it on. So then when you pull the thin skin up and over, the color's on top. So get that nice and square, nice and secure right on top. Make sure everything is nice and square, nice and lined up, even. And then, see, that's a big clump. Come in with your tan dubbing. Make sure you guys don't get any big clumps. Get a nice even dubbing noodle on your thread. If you have any impurities in the dubbing, just pick it right out. You don't need a ton for this step. Just enough to kind of build a wing case up a little bit. And then you guys can start to wrap that. You don't have to be too close to the bead. I'm going to go kind of far back with this. So wrap that there. That looks pretty good. You want to leave that little gap right in the front. And then we're going to come in with our ice dub. Fair amount of it. Just enough to cover up that gap. Add a little bit of depth. And then you can wrap that right in front of the tan dubbing. Fill up that gap. Make sure that's good and even. Take that thin skin, pull it forward over the top of all that dubbing. Really pull nice and tight on that. Nice and tight. Do a couple wraps under it just to save your work. You can go ahead and snip off the little tab. You can snip off some fibers on the sides as well. Take your whip finish tool. Go back on top of that tab. And do about three turns on a whip finish. Come in again. Couple in front. A couple behind. Sometimes it's tricky, but just get it right. That little tab is tricky sometimes after you cut it. But basically you just want to do a double whip finish on that. You can cut that off close. Cut a little bit more off of the crazy fibers that are sticking way out, that are completely out of control. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's all there is to it. So here's the final product. Nothing too crazy. You guys can go ahead and leave me your opinions in the comments below what you think of this fly. And of course, I'll see you for the next video on Sunday.